Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarappel, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. What's up, visionaries? Woohoo! It's that time of the week again. Time to grow and think big and be the change that we want to see in the world. Now tell me something. Can you remember back to when you were 17 years old? It might be a bit of a while for me. But for me, I was just finishing high school, full of dreams and hopes, a little deterred on how to achieve them successfully. You know, we all have those teenage moments. My focus was really all on me and what I want to achieve. And the same goes for our next guest. All the attention was on herself. But it wasn't about dreams and aspirations, but about survival and intuition. Now, this young and sassy woman with thoughts about the prospect of dating and exploring life soon discovered that the only thing she'd be discovering was her anatomy. In particular, her ovaries. Stage 3C cancer. Dang! But if you think this girlie was knocked down by cancer, you'll be pleased to hear that it was one of the greatest gifts she'd ever been given. Say what? Because the whole experience is what opened her up to life's calling and her soul's purpose. Yes, at 17. Things like that happen when you're open to it. Because the things that hurt us the most can be our gift of healing in the world and to the world. Our next guest views herself as the animation character Shrek, because even though he's gigantic and green, he is unapologetically himself and lives a life that is great. And that is our next guest's wish for you, to be the star of your show and put your finger on what you believe is missing from your life. So without further ado, let's delve into the world of intuition, saving grace, purpose, and soul. Ready? Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, Michelle DeWitt. Hello, Michelle.
Hi. That was amazing. It was really, really hard for me not to laugh while you were doing that because it's so great. I look like Shrek, too.
No, you don't. All right. Here's something for you. Describe to our listeners what you look like.
Oh, my goodness.
Because it ain't Shrek, people. It ain't Shrek.
I'm about 5'11". No, that's not true. 5'2". I have really, really long blonde hair. No, that's also not true. Brown hair, shoulder length, dark eyes. Very just average American looking.
She's
Nothing
not talking
special.
nice about herself, ladies. Ladies, gentlemen, she's not talking nice about herself. She's beautiful. She's got sultry brown eyes. She's like from the princess from Aladdin. I can't remember what her
there
name
we
is.
go.
Oh, there goes the dog.
I know, at 3 a.m. Come here, Artie.
Oh, cool. So share with us, Michelle, how or what your life looked like post-cancer. Now, what happened then? And just for the record, being able to just say post-cancer is a big thing. I mean,
yes,
you conquered that bugger.
I did. I conquered it. So post-cancer was an interesting time because I was, as you know, really young. And all my friends had gone away to school and, college. And I was trying to recover, get my health back, get my hair back, try to figure out what I wanted to do. And I wrote a blog about this. I was so far away from my intuitive gifts at that time because I wanted to get back to being a teenager, I guess. So I would say I was probably the angriest and the scaredest I ever was right after, because I didn't know how to handle all these things that were going on with me. The good news about the cancer, though, is that I knew I was going to survive it. So I was ready to just move on. People would ask me how I was doing, and I was fine. What do you mean? How am I doing? I'm great. I'm good. I'm so, so good. That was my way of saying, oh my God, I'm freaking out, because I hadn't dealt with it. So I went on and I just did what every normal 18, 19-year-old would do. I went to college, I went out and met new friends and dated and partied and drank too much and do all the things that you do when you're that age. And that was a hard time because I didn't know who I was anymore because my whole life had changed and I wasn't really kind of equipped for that, I think, at that point. But you don't get that choice, do you?
No, no. And in general as well, is that how our intuition and the clairvoyancy, clairsentient and clairaudient, is that how it kind of comes more into the foreground where we feel we're trying to make up for lost time and trying to find that lost time to resolve things, to make it better in the now?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, gosh, can you reword that? Because I'm trying to
Yeah.
wrap my head around like how these things come forward.
Yeah, because
Wait,
like
say that again.
you 17 and post
Right,
cancer, and you're having this moment where it's kind of like, okay, I'm just going to pretend everything's fine, which we'd all do,
right.
we'd all do it.
Yes,
And whilst you're going forward in life, there's still a part of you that's trying to catch up with lost time.
yes.
So does your intuition kind of speak to you through the clairvoyancy and the clairaudient? And for our listeners, this is what you specialize as well, is the
Right.
intuition and the clairaudience and clairsentient, that whole
Yeah.
sphere.
All the Claires.
Yeah, all the clairs, because a lot of people, they feel lost and stuck and don't know there's a missing piece. And is that missing piece perhaps the lost time that they're trying to fetch back into the present to try and find themselves and using the intuition?
Yes. So I guess I'm kind of having a hard time understanding the question in the sense that do my gifts help me go back and make up for the things that I feel like maybe I didn't accomplish or
Mm,
achieve? Or I think one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the question is that I try not to ever go back. If
mm,
Do you understand what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
lost time to me, I think is more about regret or why didn't I or should have. And I
Mm,
try my darndest every day not to ever go back in any way. So I try so hard to be present. Believe me, at that time after the cancer, I don't know if I was present, past, future, or what. I was literally had blinders on. I
mm,
was never so less intuitive in my life at that point because I was terrified. I mean, can you
mm,
imagine having a dream that you have cancer, you're 17 and you go, wait, what is cancer even? You're 17 years
mm,
old. So at that point, the fear of the fact that I could know things like that just shook me. And I wanted to run. I was like, oh. So for me, I feel like the lost time, if I had someone come to me who wanted a session and they were stuck, or like you said, and they wanted to sort of figure out how to become unstuck, I would never want to take them back. I would just want to say, this moment right here, you are here, and this is where you can start brand new, fresh if you want. We
mm,
can't get rid of the past. We always will feel regret and guilt and things like that, but you got to kick that to the curb as soon as possible.
yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, I think that's why I was like,
Yeah.
wait, go back in time, go back in time. I don't know that I do that or have
Yeah.
done that.
Because a lot of people do, they're trying to make up for lost time, you know. I lost my childhood, or I lost my youth, or I lost
Right.
myself in my 20s, and I'm not sure. I was just kind of like in autopilot, not sure where to go and
Right.
what's happening with myself. Through your cancer experience, you were forced to shift from finding your identity throughout your teenage years to dealing with survival rather than your identity. I mean, in that phase in teenagers, you're like, who am I? What do I stand for?
Oh, yeah.
So, what
Yeah, I'm such
stage?
a
Yeah,
narcissist.
exactly.
Me,
So,
me, 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 me. You know.
what am I going to be doing? Yeah, exactly. And my kids are doing that. So, what
Oh,
stage in
I
your
bet.
life did you come back to you and find out who you are?
Oh, man. Well, I think my 20s and my 30s, I was still pretty much blinders on. I sold real estate. I did a couple business things, some investments and things like that. And I always used my intuition in my work, meaning like when I was working with clients and things like that. But it was really around 39 years old, I'm 46 now, that my marriage started crumbling, basically. Things were not going well. We had been together. Our marriage was about 13 years total. So this was about the last 2 years. And I knew at that time that my life was going to change. I knew that it was time for me to do this work. And part of what was happening was the mediumship gifts were coming through. And I had always had those gifts as well, but that terrified me even more. I thought, how on earth could I give a message from a past loved one to someone? What kind of responsibility is that? Like, how do you buy business insurance for mediumship? I mean, you just don't. Like, I'm so sorry that wasn't your grandma. I'll give you a refund. I mean, it was like, I just thought, no, because from a business standpoint and a practical mind, which I have as well, I said, I'm not doing this. But people started coming to me in my house when I was sleeping. I mean, they would wake my husband up too.
What?
I was hearing the doors open and he would sit up and go, I remember one night he got a bat and I said, it's just don't. He's like, what is going on? I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I mean, I was getting like my ear pulled and I would get touched and poked and I would hear voices in my ears. And I thought, I am literally going crazy. But at the same time, I knew what it was. And I knew that I couldn't unring the bell, that I had to figure out what this meant for my life. So I basically just started reading tarot cards kind of for fun and asking friends to come over and say, can I do a reading? And then grandma would come in and all that. And it just felt like, oh my God, this is me. Like, this is who I am. This isn't just something that I can do. This is me. This is my purpose. This is why I'm here. Wow. And I just literally dove in head first and said, I have to do this. And, it was like, hey, I'm, how's it going, Michelle? Great. How's real estate? Oh, I'm a psychic now. It's like, wait, what? Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. So when did you decide to be a psychic? I'm like, oh God, it's kind of, who knows? I don't know.
Can you tell me the future? You kind of like,
right. Yeah. My favorite questions are, what am I thinking right now? I'm like, and I usually have a pretty smart ass answer for that. And then the second one is, what are the lotto numbers? And I said, if I knew the lotto numbers, I would be in Barbados on a boat, not talking to you. So moving on. But yeah, it's a calling, or it was for me. It's a vocational life. It's just sort of my soul's purpose came out through my work, and it's exhilarating. And now I get to help people do some similar things, find the healing, find the life that they want, be who they are.
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
So what are the main touch points, the main areas that you're working with? Because in all businesses, we all have our niche market that we're working with and who our soul clients are. So who are yours that are typically always coming to you, that you love coming to you? So it's not like monotoly, like, oh my God, they're coming to, but like, I love people that are wanting to find out about, not about who they did, because you're still using the past, but the past of people that are giving messages for the now, not necessarily the future, but to help them in decisions now. Why are we so out of tune with our intuition to get these messages?
Oh,
first, sorry, I get excited.
That's a good question. No, and let's get back to that question. But the first one is, I think the regular client I get, it's mainly women, but I have seen more men lately, which is really exciting for me.
Oh.
It's people who are typically at a crossroads. They have similar to my life path, which kind of funny when you look at it from this perspective. People who want a career change, who are looking to fulfill their soul's purpose. So maybe they've been in the corporate world and they're like, my marriage isn't working and I think I want to paint or something. They just want to get in touch with a much deeper part of themselves. And some of them are in crisis. I'm sure, as you know, transformation is not easy. Change is not fun sometimes. It can be lonely and scary and difficult. And so they're kind of coming to me going, well, I had a friend that said that you really helped her through. So I feel like I help people remove blocks and look at the potential that they don't have to be in the pain they're in. We're always going to have it, but they can have the life that they want. Where do we start? What's next? And I'll look at the energies of the people in their lives and help them navigate the here and now. So I call them the life path readings. And then sometimes people will come through with the mediumship stuff with healing messages, and they're always on par with where they are in their life. And it's remarkable stuff. So I'm the conduit to their guides. Their guides or their past loved ones come through and give me the information, and I just pass it on. Because when people want to say, oh, that was great, Michelle, I say, you did it. You did the work. You're here.
Conduit. Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's people who are at an impasse, life path, fork in the road type stuff. Big stuff, though.
Big stuff. Yeah, because those are big decisions. I mean, it's usually the pivotal moments where you're like, I can really feel it. I can't see it. I just cannot see where to go because all I can see what's physical right now. And
That's
all
right.
it's like, I have to have faith to go in that direction, but I don't know what's down there.
Well, when they come to me and they say, I'm not sure, I don't know why I'm here. And I just tell them, well, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why you were brought to me for this because you're ready
Mm,
for big changes. That's why you're here. And that usually levels things out and gives them an empowering message right off the bat because they know,
mm,
okay, yes, that's right. But how? And then we can work through it. And if they want
cool.
to do several sessions, we can really dig in if they want.
And when they start realizing or start acknowledging, my intuition, I should have listened to this one a long time ago. Why didn't
That's
I not
right.
listen to it?
Right. And when you just asked, why are we so not in touch with our intuition? I
Mm,
think it's because we're so programmed to do things just like we've always done and like our parents have always done. And
mm,
it's a thing that we have to grind. Or if we're not feeling bad about something or suffering, we're not doing anything. We're
yeah.
not working 12 hours a day and giving everybody every single ounce of what we have, then we're not alive. It's like,
Mm,
we fill it with stuff. And so we're out of touch. We're not
mm.
listening because we're doing all the time. So I tell people all the time, you got to be still and quiet. And they look at me like, that's it. It's like, that's it. That's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life is let go.
Yeah.
And there's beauty in that. And then the messages can flood in because my belief is that everybody is just as intuitive as the next person. We just all have a different way of understanding it. And
So
I
true.
ask people all the time, how many times in your life have you said, oh, I knew that was going to happen? Or you talk about someone and they call, and those little weird things where you go, that's so weird. It's like, well, is it? I mean, is it weird? That's when you're listening. When you say, I
Mm,
knew it, you're listening,
yeah. And they got,
but
yeah.
it's hard to do. I mean, you're very intuitive also and
Yeah.
very in touch with your own spiritual journey, and
No, no,
it
no,
takes
no,
work.
no, no. Well, now it's not so much work anymore. Now it's more when you hear it or when I hear it, it's more a thing of, oh, I've got to put this into action. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
Because
or
I
you're
know
like,
what's
no, that's
coming.
not what I wanted to hear. No,
Yes.
no, no. Yeah, right.
Really? Really?
I know.
So what's
You're
your
like,
soul
that's
purpose?
gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's going to hurt, but I know it's going to take me somewhere. But oh my God.
That's right.
So, Michelle, what is your soul purpose?
Thanks a lot for putting me on the spot. No, I'm just kidding. My sole purpose, I believe it's to help people. I feel like that's a general answer, but I'm here to help other people heal and to know that their pain is not fun, but there is so much beauty on the other side of dealing with it that it's amazing. That if you can do the work on yourself, if you can really dig in, it's the growth is glorious and it does get easier. The growth gets easier. You
Yeah.
always will still have disappointment and grief and pain and all that, but you'll know how to handle it better and better each time. And you can have the absolute most joy in your life that you want. I
Mm.
mean, I'm working on it every minute of the day and I get so much from these people that I help too. They help me. I mean, they're a gift to me as well. So I guess my purpose is just to let people know they can have it all. I have to remind myself of that all the time too, that
Yeah.
I can have it all too.
Yeah. That's a big
Work in
thing.
progress.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is.
Like everyone goes to that. I mean, it's the choice. It's like going, oh, the choice of realization that I can have it all. Oh, hang
That's
on a
right.
moment. So it's not just reserved for the holy and righteous. No, darling. It's for
No,
everybody.
that's right. And everyone has a story in
Mm.
this lifetime. I believe that most people, myself included, have many lifetimes, but not everyone subscribes to that view, and that's okay.
I do.
But a lot of people do now. I think they go, this cannot be my only rodeo. This is it. This is it. Oh God, 46 years of this. This can't be the only one thing. But I don't even know what I was saying about the past lives. But
Oh,
what was I
the
saying?
realization, the choice of
Yes.
realization that you actually have a choice. Like you can actually choose between this
Yes.
path or that path. Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly right. You can create. You can
Anything.
create your life. Like I said, it is work. You have to put the work in. But
Mm.
once you do, a flow starts. You're not grinding so hard. I mean, how many people have you talked to, especially in the last few years, let's say, that have totally changed their life and gone from the to the I don't hardly do a damn thing now,
Yeah.
but it's the money's coming in and I'm that kind of thing. can open yourself up to those unlimited possibilities.
Yeah, it's like
And I'm
cooking. You know, it's
it,
just like cooking. It just becomes a natural habit. It's like, this is how you crack an egg. And it's just
it,
natural things
yeah,
that are happening.
with
So
one hand looking
yes.
away. Watch that. Yeah, exactly.
Look at me. I can flip this
Wa-
egg now. Uh-huh.
Watch it. Whoop. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. If you could choose 3 things to enforce happiness in one's life,
Mm,
what would you say? What would you recommend? Or what would you choose?
wow, that's good. Letting go is number
Mm,
one. And
yes.
that is very general again, but it is, and you know, because I'm watching your face and you've done all these things. You know what it's like to something that you care about so much. It could be a relationship. And when I say letting go, it doesn't mean you're saying goodbye to it. You
Yeah.
just have to let things be sometimes. And that starts with you and only you. And then you start letting the other things go. Things will slip away from you. You will lose relationships, you will lose jobs, but guess what? If you're open to the process, you will get the thing that you want and need on the other side of those other things falling away. And
Yeah.
they're not losses. So letting go is a huge thing. Don't
Totally
hold
agree
on
with
to
that
it
one.
too tight.
Yeah. I was
Um,
there. I was there. Served me for a while, but then it was like, okay, goodbye.
yeah, and it hurts. Like I said,
Mm,
this is not the fun stuff, but if anybody who's hearing this knows that they're in a place where they're already hurting and already in pain, then it's time to stop that. And the way you do that is you got to shake things up. So letting go of the things that don't work, letting go of ideals or ideas that you think
mm,
you need. Second is putting yourself first. That probably should have been the first one, but putting yourself first. You have to give yourself every single thing that you think you want to give everyone else. And then, only then, will you have everything to give,
mm,
right? So
yeah.
fill up your own bucket. Imagine how you treat your kids. Oh, I love you. You're great. I'm proud. But you don't say that to yourself. You have to
Mm,
do those things for you too. And then your light shines. And sometimes you just lead by example in a way where you don't even have to speak so much.
mm,
People know that you're proud. People know that you're happy and excited and glad they're there. And you're connected in a way that's powerful. So that's yourself. Fill your own bucket up. Third could be something about coffee or wine, but I won't go there. I'll say, let's see. Third could be, well, for me personally, surround yourself with amazing people
mm,
who challenge you. They don't judge your deepest thoughts and feelings. They accept all the quirkiness and all the weird things, and they're there for you for every ounce of your growth. And they want to support that. And
mm,
you for them as well.
yeah.
I mean, I think those are 3 good ones, don't you?
Letting go yourself, fill your bucket first, and
Yep,
surrounding yourself with the things that make you alive,
that's
shine, whether
right.
it's food or wine or coffee or just put
So
it out there.
find people that are on spiritual paths as well who are curious.
Mm,
Nobody has this figured out. We can say we're an expert in something, and sure, I believe you, but we're all doing this together. So find people that are interested in doing it with you, that want to
mm,
be curious, that want to explore their own passions and their own purpose. Because
yeah.
to me, you can be working and doing all these things and have the fabulous house and the car and be a generally happy person. But if you haven't found out what your soul's purpose is here,
Mm,
you're always going to sort of have this wondering, like, what is it? And someday you might hit a brick wall and go, you know what? I don't know what this is, but I got to do whatever this is.
yeah.
Right. So surround yourself with the people who understand that things change and this is a fluid thing,
Mm,
life, or
mm.
whatever you call this thing we're in, life, I guess. Right.
So I'm being prompted to ask you this question. So those that are wanting to go into the world of clairvoyancy, clairaudience, the clair
Yes.
world, and they're at the moment at crossroads themselves where they're going, I'm going to be called weird. I'm going to be shunned. I'm going to be have that red scarlet, that red letter, whatever. Michelle, help me here with one piece of advice to just take the one step. I'm being prompted to ask you that because someone needs to hear that
Yeah,
today.
that's right. Just know that you're safe and you're protected, and that if someone shuns you, they're scared.
Mm,
You Do what you think is best for you, and you will find your tribe. Those people that want to lift you up and help you with that work, if it's intuitive work, healing of some kind, you will get what you need.
Mm.
There's no guarantee that you won't have someone that's going to go like, what? But I promise you, the thing I know is the people who really love you will be there for you,
Mm.
because love will always transcend anything that you do. But just do it and be brave. I did it. I know. I didn't lose friends though. It was amazing. It was almost like these people I've known for 30 years were saying to me, I'm here. Some people said, wow, it's about time, kind of, because people would say to me, well, ask Michelle, she'll probably know. Like, wait, Michelle, what happened here? What does this mean? What's going on? And so people knew this side of me to a point. So just be brave. If that's who you feel like you need to be in the world, then do it.
Mm.
And yes, it's scary. And yes, it's going to hurt. I'm not going to tell you this is a cakewalk, but you will love it.
And where do they go? Because I feel that they need to know a practical step. So are you offering apprenticeship, or do you have, like you started, you were dabbling a little bit in tarot cards. What's that first step to go, this feels good?
Well, it's so individual. I feel like each person, like for instance, if they came to me and said, I'm looking to unlock my intuition a little bit, I want to work with people, I would want to dissect that with them. But if they're that intuitive and they're so curious about how to use it themselves, do the thing that is pulling you. If it's cards, or if it's some kind of Reiki or physical touching with people, and whatever it is, it could channeling. I mean, whatever you think the thing is that you want to do, just read about it, look into it, ask a friend like I did. Can I practice on you? I don't even know what I'm doing here, but this is what I'm being pulled to do this, and I just want to try. Just try one little thing. If it's crystals, stones, meditation, you just bring it all in. You can always, I always tell everyone, ask your guides for help and be specific, because our guides are on the other side going, oh, you want to be happy? Oh, great. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just sit here until she tells us how she wants to be happy. Like, we'll be here. We'll be here when you're ready. Okay. You just let us know. So it's one of those things where you have to say, this is what I want. This is what I want. Write it down. Say it out loud. Give it some legs so it has a life, and just don't hold it in anymore. Because once you start just saying these weird things, believe me, things turn on their head and they change immediately. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
So
brilliant.
first step, I would say, write it down, say it out loud, ask a friend if you can practice your little juju woo-woo on them, all that.
Brilliant.
Those are great steps.
So we're coming to the end. It goes really quickly. I know.
It does.
And I
So
have two
sad.
questions for everyone that are on my show. On my show, I have a show. So
Yes, you do.
to fill in the three of my values and what they mean to you. So creativity for you is?
Oh, creativity for me. I feel like creativity for me is like just being passionate. That's creative for me. Isn't that strange? It feels like a weird answer, but
Well, here's the next one. Passion for you is?
oh, creativity. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'll take creativity for 1,000, Alex. No, I'm just kidding. So, passion for me is purpose.
Wisdom
Living
for
with
you.
purpose.
Living with purpose.
Wisdom for me is being, just being.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing anything makes me wise, I think, is that letting go piece.
Yeah, the letting go, yeah.
When I can just sit in it, I feel like a wise owl.
And revel.
Yeah.
Rub my back, wisdom. Rub
Yeah.
I'll purr.
Exactly.
How do you want to change or challenge the world doing what you do?
I want people to stop thinking that they can't do something. Or giving me, my favorite thing is, oh, I already tried that. Or they like, oh, you have? Please. Clearly it didn't work. So you're not willing to try again? I mean, I don't know. Do we only get one shot? So I want to challenge people to do the thing that they might think is the most impossible, but that could give them the most joy. Thinking, oh, that would never pay my bills, or that could never be how I live my life. That's what a vagabond does, or that's what, okay, then be a vagabond if that's what you call it. do the thing that you think is impossible.
Mm.
Try it. Try something around that.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Michelle, for being with us here today and sharing your wisdom and your grace and your purpose and your humor. It's been great.
Thank you, Sashka. Your humor is the best. I like the owl impression. I think that was my favorite.
Oh, cool. If you want to find out more about Michelle, have a look in the show notes because there's some good old information in there. You can find her on her website, on social media, what her favorite book is, her favorite quote. And she may even just have a little special gift for you if you're good and following your intuition to click on that link and go and get it. She's got a really cool quiz, so that's pretty cool. So thank you so much for everyone listening in. And if you feel the pull towards finding out more about Michelle and the whole Claire world, the Claire world, and reveling in your owl purring, then please get in contact and we'll be seeing each other or listening to each other again next week. And I look forward to it. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us. And you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Sashka. This was great.
Pleasure,
You're
pleasure.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.